Fox 56 News Chief Medical Contributor Dr. Ryan Stan is with us in studio.
This morning he's focusing on a tragic death that has a connection to Kentucky.
Yeah, this is a difficult story, and I didn't even realize until earlier this week that there was a connection here in central Kentucky. So, difficult story, but not one that people need to be worried about in terms of what happened to get there. So, earlier this week, 8-year-old Lillian Smart in Louisiana passed away from an incredibly rare but devastating infection caused by Naegleria fowleri. Often called the brain-eating amoeba, Lillian had a connection and relation here in central Kentucky. Health officials believe she was exposed while swimming in warm, fresh water, a lake near her home. Our hearts ache for Lillian and her family. Despite the frightening headlines, though, it's important to remember that this infection is extremely rare. Fewer than 200 cases have ever been reported in the United States since keeping records in 1937. But when infection occurs, it's almost always fatal. The amoeba is found in warm, fresh water, lakes, rivers, ponds, and hot springs, especially during the summer. Infections only happen when contaminated water is forced up into the nasopharynx or nose, allowing the amoeba to travel along the olfactory nerve to the brain. You cannot become infected by drinking the water, and it does not spread from person to person. Early symptoms include severe headache, fever, nausea, and vomiting, followed by confusion, stiff neck, seizures, and loss of balance as the infection rapidly progresses. If swimming in warm water, simple precautions can reduce your risk. Consider using nose clips or holding your nose when jumping or diving. Avoid stirring up sediment in shallow water and use only distilled or previously boiled water for any of those sinus rinses we use during sinus infections. The risk is incredibly low, but awareness and prevention are the best tools we have. Now, the thing to keep in here is this really isn't something we deal with here in central Kentucky. This is mainly southern states, Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana, those right along the Gulf Coast because of how warm and humid they are. But this is a difficult story. A lot of family here in central Kentucky, and we pray for them that through this time that's very difficult, but also for those out there, don't be afraid to get in, go out with family, enjoy the water, but be safe.
How treatable is this?
It's not. That's the problem, is there's not much to do once it happens. You know, we see a lot right now in Florida of bacteria, and it is somewhat treatable, but unfortunately this is one of those opportunistic style infections that if it gets just that right pathway, but think about the number of people in those areas that have been in bodies of water, and we have 200 reported cases. So incredibly rare.
Man.
Definitely heartbreaking for the family, though. Doc, thank you for this update. And next hour, do you know what you're talking about?
We're actually talking about whether you should be wearing your shoes inside your house. So a very different feel in the story. Didn't want to hit too heavy twice, and so we're actually going to talk about some of the things that you can help to keep your house a little bit neater, a little bit cleaner, and maybe a little healthier.
I know my wife's answer to that question.
Well, it's now my wife's answer to the question, too.
Paul, keep those shoes near the garage door.
All right,
Thanks, Doc.
we'll be right back with Forever Homes next.
Download the Fox 56 streaming channel on these devices today.